Time to break it down in layman's terms. Another segment from the book, The Perfect Close by author James Muir. Does it make sense to read this book? Absolutely, if you're in sales today. What's the next step? Read this book cover to cover and apply what you've learned, the tips, the strategies, and the techniques and takeaways that James has outlined throughout this book. It will make you more efficient when it comes to closing more deals today, delivering value and insight to your customers. Now, for the purpose of today's video, we'll focus on Chapter 5, the critical advance. Now, throughout the book, James has outlined what a close is, a firm commitment to buy. Advancing the sale, well, that requires energy and action on behalf of your clients. And continuing the sale, there's no energy, action, or commitment with your clients. So why is it important? What's the distinction between advancing the sale and continuing the sale? We'll ask James that, but I also want James to expound on that a little bit more and how it applies to closing more deals. Why is advancing the sale, defining what that is as opposed to continuing the sale, and what does that impact when it comes to closing more deals more efficiently today? James, why even bother with the distinction between continuing the sale and advancing the sale?
This is a fantastic question. Knowing the difference between an advance and a continuation can mean the difference between success and failure for a salesperson. So let's define those terms. An advance is a significant action that requires energy by the client, either in the call or right after it, that moves the sale towards a decision. Where a continuation is a situation where the call will continue, but no action has been agreed upon by the customer to move forward. And after studying 35,000 face-to-face sales encounters, Neil Rackham discovered that 9 out of 10 sales encounters don't end with either a win or a lose. What we get instead is either an advance or a continuation. And sometimes salespeople don't have a clear understanding about the difference between an advance and a continuation. In fact, I've lost track of the number of times I've been reviewing an opportunity with a rep, and when I ask them about the progress they've made, I hear things like, I sent them literature, or I gathered a lot of great information, or we did lunch and I gave them a white paper, or they said to come visit when next time I was there, or I really strengthened the relationship, or I asked them if they wanted a proposal and they agreed to take it. And the problem with all of these, and many more just like them, is that they're all continuations. They're all situations where the sale will continue, but nothing's been agreed to by the customer. They're not actually doing anything. And these things just fool salespeople into believing that they're actually making progress, when in reality, no progress is actually being made. So the question is, how can you tell? How do you know the difference between an advance and a continuation? And the answer to that is action and energy. By setting call objectives that require both action and energy on behalf of our clients, we get a clear understanding of their commitment level while continually moving our sale towards closure. If the client is not taking an action, it's not an advance. And if the action the client is taking requires little to no energy, it's also not an advance. We need both. So while things like sharing information, strengthening the relationship, and gathering useful information are all good, it just isn't enough. As sales professionals, the only true asset we have is our time. We convert our time into money. So it's critical that we invest our time in the best ways possible, and advances help us do that. The whole thing is a little bit like blockchain for sales. By setting true advances as call objectives for each encounter, we'll achieve an unbroken chain of successful advances that ultimately leads to the close.
And there you have it, from the author himself, James Muir. Now, this is a great book, The Perfect Close, and I encourage you to get a copy of the book, but I also encourage you to go to James's website to check out all his content, his resources, his blog posts, all his tips, strategies, and information that can apply to you when it comes to selling today. I'm Doug Lehman, breaking it down in layman's terms. Don't continue the sale, advance the sale, selling with the right mindset and the right intent.